Good morning, Islanders, and welcome back to our Facebook Live series, Ask an Islander. Today we are sitting down with one of our resident dietitians, Maleah, and we are going to talk about, you get home after a long day and you want to go pick up Whataburger. No, we're going to talk about in your dorms, you can have a healthy, microwavable meal. So thank you for sitting down with us. So what did you prepare for us today?
Well, thank you for having me. Today I brought two different options. I brought a lunch or dinner option and I brought a breakfast option. That way you can see no matter what time of day, there's no excuse. You can make something in your microwave or even overnight. So what I brought is I brought some oatmeal and I brought some chicken, rice, and vegetables. All of these things came for the chicken and rice and vegetables. They all came from the freezer section. They were all cooked in the microwave. And then the oatmeal, you can make in the microwave, or you can actually do an overnight oats. If you're on Pinterest, you've probably heard this term before. So starting with breakfast, I have this Tupperware here. I actually made this last night, and I just put my peanut butter on it this morning to make it look nice and pretty. But oatmeal is like the easiest thing in the morning because we found out recently that you can make it the night before, and you can just leave it and have that be it. Or you can do it the morning of and stick it in the microwave. Oatmeal is a great source of complex carbohydrates. It's really high in fiber. It's actually pretty high in protein as well. And what that all means is that it essentially keeps your blood sugar from spiking up and then crashing down and leaving you asleep halfway through class. So it keeps your blood sugar and your energy kind of sustained throughout the day. What I also did with this oatmeal is I added some apples to give you some sweetness to it, and then some peanut butter to give you some protein and fats. I also added some cinnamon, just because it tastes yummy.
But I mean, it's so customizable because, I know I don't like peanut butter, I don't like cinnamon, so I could do, whatever. I could also do different fruits and vegetables, too.
Absolutely. We were just talking about a few minutes ago, apples make my stomach hurt, and so what I do with my overnight oats is I actually use frozen blueberries or bananas.
Oh, so you didn't even get fresh? Because I don't buy fresh fruits and vegetables because it's just me in my apartment. So, I'm not going to eat them fast enough. So, that's frozen or you can buy?
So, this apple I used, I wanted to show you guys how big it was. It was about the size of my fist, and I think about a third to a half of it is probably pretty good for one portion. Someone of my size, obviously someone double my size, needs a little bit more. But this apple is fresh. I like apples for other people because they're pretty shelf stable. They sit on the counter for really good, they don't go bad too quickly. But no, frozen blueberries are flawless. And then as far as the peanut butter and stuff goes, you could use sunflower seed butter, you could use almond butter, you could use regular nuts, not in a butter form, or you could just not use it. If you don't like it, then you can leave it out. You're right, it's totally customizable.
Yeah, I think the hard thing was with Pinterest, when we do it, it's if I don't follow this thing to a T, I can't do it, I'm just go away, I'm just gonna go buy McDonald's instead because I can't fit it exactly to what I want.
Exactly. No, and I love that about oatmeal because it's a great neutral tasting base. I've seen people do cocoa powder and peanut butter. I've seen people do, I was on a kick with pineapple and coconut and chia seeds for a while. And then using that fruit, it gives you that sweetness so that you don't really have to add any other additional sugars, and that helps to keep the sugar content pretty manageable. Not to say that, if you love brown sugar in your oatmeal, then, being mindful with how much you're adding is great. But the sugar in the fruit kind of helps keep it maintained. The other thing that I use at home is I use the Splenda. So I use a sugar substitute, just Splenda or stevia. Stevia is a natural sugar substitute. It doesn't have any calories in it. Splenda is not a natural source, but it's still a lower calorie substitute. So there's different options there.
So, this is fairly healthy compared to going to Starbucks and grabbing something or going to McDonald's and grabbing something. This is fairly healthy even if you are, there are some sugars and stuff like that you're adding in.
Yeah, there's sugars in all of the foods that we eat, but we just want to make sure that we're keeping it kind of balanced and making sure that the sugars that we choose are more natural sources of sugar. Something that you said about getting Starbucks, if you are really, really short for time, I wouldn't want to sit here and say that's, you choose your overnight oats or you don't have anything. Is that if you go to Starbucks, they have oatmeal there too, so you can ask them to leave the sugar off, or you can add your own blueberries. So there's other options there. All of this stuff also came from H-E-B. This was bulk cinnamon and bulk peanut butter, and the price per serving for this oatmeal, I put it right here, is 76 cents per serving. So you buy it all, it's going to cost more than 76 cents. It costs about $8.72, but once you divide it out per serving, it's only about 76 cents per ounce, or per serving, excuse me. So super, super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to our dinner option, put it in the microwave here so it looks nice and tasty, is we did some chicken, some veggies, and some rice. Like I said, all of this stuff came from the freezer section. So the difference between fresh and frozen food is only the temperature. Fresh and canned and frozen foods, or I should say canned and frozen foods, are canned or frozen at the peak of their freshness. And so you get all of those nutrients in the fruit or vegetable without worrying about it going bad too quickly. There's a few texture differences. You probably wouldn't want to like defrost this and eat it at room temperature, whereas you could do so with fresh vegetables. But there is the benefit of being able to just like throw it in the microwave.
Yeah.
These are, again, all from H-E-B, and these vegetables actually have a sauce on them, so you don't even have to add salt or seasoning, which is what I love, because a lot of the times frozen foods can be really, really high in sodium, which makes them taste better and makes them more shelf stable, but really high in sodium doesn't make us feel too great sometimes. So this already has a sauce on it. The rice is nice and plain, so if you wanted to add some sauce or you wanted to mix the veggies and the rice together, you could do that. I know you guys are doing a giveaway with some seasonings here. Finding seasoning mixes that don't have too much added sodium is probably a great one. The brand I like is called Mrs. Dash. So, and H-E-B sells that too. So that makes it really easy to keep the sodium down. The chicken also is a pre-cooked chicken breast. I'm gonna pull it up. It's already seasoned. So there is going to be some seasonings on there as well, but like, I don't know if you smelled when I opened the bag earlier, like I got the smell of the seasoning of the chicken. And so it's pre-cooked. So all I did was toss this in the microwave for 5 to 6, 7 minutes maybe, just until the chicken was fully cooked, and it's done. Like, there's lunch today or dinner tonight. It's very easy.
How do we like determine? There are millions of chicken options, like frozen chicken options at like H-E-B or Walmart. Like what do we should be looking for? Or like how do I determine which one's like kind of healthy or that one's not okay? Like how do we do that?
Usually I look to make sure that it is a plain chicken breast, not in a lot of sauce or not breaded or fried. And that's just going to keep the carbohydrates and the calories a little bit more manageable, because those sauces and the breading can add up pretty quickly. The place that I like to look is right below the nutrition facts label. This will tell you what the chicken's made out of, if there is a sauce, what does that mean for the nutrition. But then right under it is the ingredient list. So for this one, the first ingredient is boneless, skinless chicken breast with rib meat. It should be the first ingredient because that's the main thing in the meal. Like sometimes if you're doing like a meatball or something, the first ingredient might actually be like oat flour because it binds the meatball together. And so you just want to be able to read that and know, okay, this says it's chicken, it's actually chicken. So there's the reason that this has a longer list is because it's got the salt, the yeast extract, it's got some garlic powder, spices, onion powder. So it's got a lot that's adding to the flavor there, but that's what I look for is the ingredients. So that's what I kind of look for. Stick to nice and simple and add the seasonings on my own.
Yeah, like should we be looking at like all this stuff? Because I mean, honestly, I'm like, I don't know what any of that means. No, just
I wouldn't. I think if you have really more specific questions, and meeting with me is a great way to find out those more and more specific questions. Reading a nutrition facts label is really important. Just to be able to know, what is total fat versus trans fat. That's a pretty specific question, and it's a good one to know the answer to. But I think that's something that's easier done one-on-one, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, when you look at a chicken, it should be primarily protein. Now, if you don't eat chicken, if you are vegetarian, or if you think that chicken sounds really nasty and you're not in the mood, that is totally fine too. H-E-B sells a lot of pre-cooked, fish, I think, and then they do like pork. My best friend actually does whitefish. He'll get frozen whitefish fillets that are raw, and he's cooked them in the microwave before. So it's not fancy. It doesn't sound great, but like he's been in a hurry, and you throw it in, you just cover it so it doesn't make a mess in the microwave, and it cooks just the same. So I think there's a little bit of a stigma of like cooking things in the microwave, but if I had brought this out and said that I cooked it over a stovepan, like it would have looked almost the same.
Yeah.
The other thing, if you are vegetarian, is you could do beans. You could do like canned beans, drain them, heat them up in the microwave. You could do refried beans, heat them up in the microwave. I have yet to cook tofu in the microwave. I'm not sure how I would do that, but I'm sure it would work. I'm sure it'd be fine. If anyone tries it, please let me know how it works. So yeah, just, I mean, the same with the oatmeal. This is so customizable in that, like, say you go to H-E-B and you see this veggie blend and you think it looks nasty and you don't think, or you don't like cauliflower. You can find one without cauliflower in it. If you want plain, this has like a butter garlic sauce on it. If you want one that's plain, you could get a plain one and add teriyaki sauce or something like that. They have white rice. They have fried rice, I think. So you can do this, or you can mix the rice and you can do frozen noodles. So there's a lot of different options.
Yeah, and I know like the frozen section, I know I get overwhelmed because there are so many different frozen like options. I know like sometimes I'll just go onto like the Curbside website and be like, oh, frozen broccoli. Like I just want to look at the things with broccoli and then go to the store and then grab like, okay, I wanted the one with the cheese or that. So how much was this?
Altogether, the 3 bags of food was $10.31, and that equates to $2.92 per serving.
But the great thing is, like, $10 might sound like a lot, but you're getting a lot of chicken, you're getting a lot of veggies, so that's like several meals that you could have over an entire week or maybe the next week, right?
Exactly. And because it's frozen, you don't have to worry about it going bad, so you don't have to like, oh, I have to like hurry up and eat this, or like if it's a Friday night and you're going out because you want to go out to dinner, you don't have to feel guilty about leaving the food in the freezer because it's going to be fine. So yeah, $2.92 per serving. I think the chicken came with 5 servings in it, and it was, $1.49 per serving of chicken. So regardless, it's under $2 for a serving of protein. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
It takes 6 minutes in the microwave. You don't have to think about it.
Awesome. So if you have any more questions about like what we talked about, anything, you can go see her. You can make appointments with you. How do we like make appointments with you, or do we email you so we can talk about all this stuff in like detail?
So emailing is great. We can get my email out to you guys. I'm available that way, or you can just come visit me in the Dugan. Right when you come in those front doors, there's the big office with the big glass windows, and I'm in that office. I love when people come by, even if you have like a quick question where you're like, hey, I saw you on that live and I want to know just one specific question and that's it, I don't need a whole session, come find me, we'll talk. Super brief and make it nice and easy.
And they also have awesome cooking classes, so be sure like you're following our page. We always share their stuff, and follow the Dugan's page also. They have cooking classes. They're talking about doing all these other fun stuff to teach us how to eat good but still on a budget. So let's see. Next week we're going to have career services resume tips. We want jobs, y'all. We want them bad. So we need to make sure those resumes are flawless. So make sure to tune in next week at 10 a.m. and we're going to talk about all the resume goodness. Also tonight, the museum is having a college night. There's going to be tarot cards. There's going to be food. There's going to be fun, goodness, giveaway like Whataburger gift cards. Yeah. So go by the museum at 7:30. It's free as long as you have your $7. If you have a friend or someone coming who doesn't go to school, it's $5. So good deals. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me.
We are going to be eating so well, and we would like to also congratulate Kirsten Robertson. Thank you for asking an adulting question. You are going to win seasoning. You are going to win a steamer. So you could cook all of this goodness in a microwave with that steamer. So congratulations. Thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to see us next Friday. Happy Friday. Bye.
Bye.